Hey guys, Joe here, and it is time for Top 10 when I rank the WWE wrestlers from a kayfabe sporting standpoint since the draft, and I'll give you my smarky opinion too, so you get the best of both worlds. Check out my first video for all the rules, but for now, let's get started with the tag division. And still at number 10, it is those wife stealers, Enzo and Cass. Are they heel for trying to hoof someone else's wife? I guess they have a cool catchphrase, so no. It's very confusing. Nevertheless, it's still at number 10 is Enzo and Cass. Still at number 9, it's Cesaro and Sheamus. They're still behind the Shining Stars. Sorry for the spoilers, but that makes me really angry. They lost this week in their tag title three-way match, so I can't put them any higher up the list. At number 9, it's Cesaro and Sheamus. At number 8, still at number 8 from last week, the Shining Stars. They're 5-5 since the draft. They didn't wrestle this week, and I'm fine with that. At number 8, it is the Shining Stars. At number 7, coming down from number 6 last week, it is the Club, losing in their tag title three-way match this week. I had to move them down the list. Unfortunately, it's the Club. At number 6, moving down from number 4, it's Heath Slater and Rhino, losing in their 12-man Battle Royale this week on SmackDown. At number 6, it's Heath Slater and Rhino. At number 5, moving down from number 3, it's the Usos, not wrestling this week, and it cost you 2 spots. Number 5, it's the Usos. At number 4, making a huge jump from number 7 last week, it is the Hype Bros, winning their 12-man Battle Royale this week on SmackDown, and they're your number 1 contenders for the SmackDown tag titles, but they're number 4 on my list. It is the Hype Bros. At number 3, they're undefeated in their short time together. They haven't been together long enough to break into my top 2, but at number 3, moving from number 5 last week, it is the Wyatt family, your WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, 4-0 since the draft. At number 3, it is the Wyatt family. At number 2, they are 10-5 since the draft, and yet still have not received a tag title shot. It baffles me, but still at number 2, of course, is American Alpha. They did lose in that 12-man Battle Royale on SmackDown, but it didn't hurt them too much, because they're still at number 2, it is American Alpha. And still at number 1, your reigning top 10 champions and your WWE. Well, you get the joke. It is the New Day. Retaining twice in one night, you can hardly move them down the list, so still at number 1, it is the New Day. So let's take a look at the women's division. At number 10, she was number 9 last week, it's Natalya. With a loss to Carmella this week on SmackDown, it's cost her 1 place. At number 9, making her debut on top 10, it is Naomi. Not wrestling this week, but she's 4-9 since the draft, and that was enough to put her into my top 10. At number 8, still at number 8 from last week, despite being one of the best heels on SmackDown in my opinion, it's Carmella. She did beat Natalya this week on SmackDown, but she has 13 losses. That's the same as Natalya, so I can't put her any higher. At number 7, still at number 7, not wrestling this week, and she hasn't moved in my rankings, it's Nikki Bella. Far too high in my opinion. Naomi and Carmella need to go up these rankings. At number 6, still at number 6 from last week, it is Becky Lynch. Despite winning her WWE SmackDown Women's Championship match this week on SmackDown, she hasn't moved in the rankings. However, she did win by countout, and the title can't change hands on countout, Michael. So, not your women's champion, but she is 6 on my list. It's Becky Lynch. At number 5, it is Nia Jax. She is still at number 5, but she has not wrestled in quite some time, and if she doesn't wrestle soon, she's going to go down my list. But still at 8-3 since the draft, and number 5 on my list, it's Nia Jax. At number 4, still at number 4 from last week, despite her count-out loss on SmackDown, it is Alexa Bliss, your WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. Number 4's Alexa Bliss. At number 3, it is Charlotte. Not wrestling this week, but it's enough to keep her at a number 3 spot in my list. 8-8 since the draft. Number 3 is Charlotte. And number 2, she picked up her 11th win this week since the draft. She beat Alicia Fox on Raw, and her 11 wins is more than any other women on the entire roster, yet she still hasn't received a title shot. And this baffles me. There is only 3 top-tier women on the Raw roster, yet Bayley has not yet received a title shot, despite having the most wins. Very confusing. However, I am looking forward to Charlotte and Sasha Banks at Roadblock End of the Line, and hopefully Bayley gets a title shot at Royal Rumble or even WrestleMania. So, number 2 is Bayley. At number 1, of course, rightfully at the top of the women's division, it's your WWE Raw Women's Champion. It is Sasha Banks. Number 1, your top 10 champion, it's Sasha Banks. So, let's move on to the men's division. Making his debut this week on top 10, at number 10, it is Baron Corbin. 7-6 since the draft. He didn't wrestle this week, but he is in my top 10. At number 9, he was number 8 last week, but he wrestled for the tag titles this week on Raw, and that doesn't count towards the singles division. So, at number 9, it is Seth frickin' Rollins. He's 8-8 since the draft, so I can't put him any higher, but he definitely should be. At number 8, jumping from number 10 last week, it's the Brian Kendrick. With a win over TJ Perkins this week on Raw, he has jumped 2 places. So number 8, it's Brian Kendrick. At number 7, still at number 7 from last week, it is Dolph Ziggler, winning a huge Fatal 4-Way match in the main event of SmackDown to become your number 1 contender. But number 7 on my list, it is Dolph Ziggler. At number 6, he was number 5 last week. It is Rich Swann, your WWE Cruiserweight Champion. He lost this week to TJ Perkins on 205 Live, and it cost him 1 place. At number 5, he was number 6 last week. It is your WWE Champion, AJ Styles. He has not been booked strongly as a champion. He's 9-6. He's lost 3 times to James Ellsworth, and he didn't wrestle this week. I can't put him any higher than number 5, but he definitely should be. At number 5, it is AJ Styles. At number 4, picking up his 15th win this week over Curtis Axel on Raw, that is more than any other man or woman or tag team in the entire roster. At number 4, it is Braun Strowman. 15-2 since the draft. You can't argue with that. Still at number 4, Braun Strowman. At number 3, still at number 3 from last week, he wrestled in a tag title match again, so it doesn't count. But maintaining his spot in my top 3, it's your WWE Universal Champion, Kevin Owens. At number 2, still at number 2 from last week, and again wrestling in a tag title match this week on Raw, he is your US Champion, Roman Reigns. Although he might as well not be your US Champion, because if he actually bothers to have the belt with him, he's either dragging it on the floor or flinging it over his shoulder like a backpack. And he's not even defending it at Roadblock End of the Line. He's going for a different title. So he's doing nothing for the championship. He might as well get rid of it. But he is your US Champion, and he is at number 2 on my list. And at number 1, still your reigning top 10 champion and your Intercontinental Champion, it is The Miz. He did lose this week in a Fatal 4-Way match in the main event of SmackDown, but he's still number 1 on my list. He's 10-5 since the draft. He has defended his championship on numerous occasions, of course, regaining it as well, and that gets a lot of points in my books. So at number 1, it is The Miz. So, congratulations go to The Miz, Sasha Banks, and The New Day. You're all on top of your divisions, and I will see you guys for some more rankings next week.